have a chance just to ask some questions then as well. So go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Certainly appreciate the opportunity, and certainly, like we were talking about earlier, what you've been able to do with this during this time is really great. It's really nice to be able to kind of go back afterwards. You go to a clinic, and if you miss something, you may not get, you're not going to get it. Whereas these, you can go back and watch them later on and pick up more stuff. So certainly appreciate the opportunity. So I was going to originally talk at the main clinic about this, so I figured I would just do it today. Just talk about kind of how we go about developing kind of an answer key. I listened to Coach Morin speak the other day about developing a program. Coach Roach did a great job about program culture. I think obviously, if you're going to develop a football program, it's got to be a complete program. We start ours in pre-K with the Smart Start. We progress to youth football and tackle, middle school, and then obviously freshmen right up through. And so the reason we've been so successful is we've had great players. I don't think, obviously the play calling is a piece of it, but I think the biggest piece is that we get great players. And, the only way that it can happen is if you develop that program, starting early on right up through. I truly believe players are an extension of what you teach them. Certainly we want to put them in a position to be successful. You want to coach them up, but at the same time, you don't want to overload them. Certain kids you can probably do a little bit more with, other kids. So we just want to make sure, when we watch film and when our coaches break film down, they're an extension of what we're teaching them. And if we watch film and kids aren't getting done what they should be getting done, then that's more of a reflection, I feel, on us as a coaching staff than it is on the players. I think, the other part is your coaching staff has to do an excellent job of creating an environment where players can be successful. I think each and every year, certainly at the high school level, you're starting, you only get kids for, 3 years. Maybe some kids you can play for you for 4 years, but for 3 years. And you've got to make sure that you play to your strengths. And, I think, you want to put your kids in the best position to be successful. And that is just obviously, making sure you can figure out what your strengths are. And that may change throughout the year. You start the year thinking you're going to be one thing, and by the end, it may be something else. And then just teaching your players up. What do your players know? Players will play fast. If they understand what's going on, it creates confidence for them. It creates confidence on the team. So, you got to really make sure that, your players, understand what you're trying to do and understand the reasons behind it too, and that's kind of what when we start talking about these answers, kids understand. And as I progress through our thought process, our kids kind of understand ahead of time what the answers are going to be. So if you can create that environment, give them the confidence, and then you just got to let them play. I think on game day, it's you got to let them play fast. Correct mistakes on Monday. I know Kevin did a nice job talking about that, and when he talked about game planning and all that, the Monday is where you do the corrections and stuff. So, and obviously, as coaches, our goal is to try to give them as many answers as possible. The way we went about, I learned this a long time ago when Chip Kelly was still at University of New Hampshire. I remember going down and meeting with him in spring ball and sitting down with Chip and just kind of working through. We would put a play up and his base play in their offense, and then he would talk through, these are my answers for this play, and he would have 2 or 3 answers for each and every play. And if you watch Chip coach when he became a head coach, it's kind of the same thing. They really don't do a whole lot. They do it fast. And then if a team takes it away, he's going to have an answer. And that's where I kind of, as a staff, we kind of developed this idea of developing an answer key. And I think probably one of the most important things is, you've got to have an answer for your kids, at some point. And that's why I think, you play wing T teams, it's a successful offense because, or triple option. We started as a triple option team. That there's a system in place with those offenses and others also. But I think, team, wing T, they're going to run the buck sweep. If teams take away the buck sweep, they're going to run the off tackle belly X. If they take that away, you get this, you get the smack and the B gap, you get the trap and the A gap, you get the play action waggle and other passes. So I think that's what makes those offenses so tough to defend when they're run well is teams having an answer. And that's why they're successful. For us, each every play we put in, when you become a spread team, I think you got to kind of decide what you're going to be, because spread isn't an offense like a wing T. Spread can be, run first, it can be pass first, it can be different types of runs, it can be different types of passes. So when you start developing your offense, I think it's, it's the what, why, and when. What are you going to call? Why do you call it, and when are you going to call it? And that's kind of the key to being successful in offense. I know certainly, our offensive player, Craig Gressy, does a great job of this. We're gonna kind of figure out, what our strengths are, and then we're gonna go work our way through that throughout the season and come up as we develop our answers. And then you want to make sure you have those for every play in your playbook. You only have so much time to practice, and you want to make sure that you maximize that time. You don't want to be spending a lot of time in practice running plays that you're never going to run in the game. So I think that's why it's so important to sit down and figure out what are you going to be, what plays are you going to focus on, what are the answers if they take that away. And then I think the last thing that's sometimes so overlooked, as a defense coordinator, I'll go into games and you're always worried about these kids that if this kid touches the ball, they do this and this, and after the game the kid touches the ball 3 times in the game, and I think that's one thing that we will never do at Thornton Academy. Our best players are going to touch the ball in big games, and that's one thing that we really focus on. That's a little easier if it's a tailback. If it's a quarterback, it's easier to get the ball in their hands. But if he's a wide receiver, smaller, you got to kind of figure out ways to get them the ball. Especially Maine, you're not going to, most of the time late in the season, it's going to be hard throwing the ball because of the weather. So you've got to figure out different ways to get the ball in your best playmaker's hands. Basically, our base run game, a lot of teams run this, same stuff. We run inside zone where it can hit from anywhere from the backside A to the front side B gap, depending upon what we see. We have outside zone, primarily BC, sometimes a D gap play, jet sweep, and then we have our gap scheme. We got our trap, our B gap dart play, C gap, we run power and counter. And then we do have some double option plays. We'll run zone read, we'll run the power read, we run a counter read, we'll run a dart read. And then some RPOs basically off our zone game and power game. So that's primarily our base offense. Basically, when we start with our philosophy, we basically have three things that we're going to really focus on. And the 3 schemes are the inside zone, the outside zone, our power game, and our jet sweep. So those are our 3 base schemes, and every game we're going to go into those teams know when they play us, they're going to see those schemes, and then the complementary plays off from those. We have the trap, we get the dart and the B gap. We got basically a zone. I'll show you most of these as we work our way through this. We call it zombie, where we zone the front side, we man the back side, we insert our A back into the hole. Got counter gap, a little bit of reverse. Double option, RPOs, and then play action pass. So our philosophy is we're going to run our 3 base schemes until teams stop it. And if teams can't stop it, then they may not see the rest of that stuff. But once teams start stopping it, and depending upon how they're stopping it, will determine what we run kind of in our complementary series. Some things we talk about. As we're working through, and people up in the booth is a team in 0 high, which means you're going to see a 7-man box. If you have a 7-man box, you've got to be able to throw the ball. We like to throw some bubble screens, tunnel screens. And then if you are going to run the ball against a 7-man box, you got to be in some heavy run sets. Otherwise, they're going to have you outnumbered. 1 high means a 6-man box for us. And then in that series, we're going to run a little bit more of our RPO stuff. You can still run heavy. But now we can get some of our spread teams out a little bit more, and be able to run the ball. And then obviously if you're getting a 2 high look, You've got to be able to run the ball against that set. Honestly, we don't get a whole lot of too high look unless it's passing downs. So that's kind of our philosophy with coverages is it 0 high, 1 high, 2 high. I think what we work on is we really want to give the read key. Now, the read key for us is the first man on or outside the offensive tackle. And we want to give them 5 different looks. And in our offense, basically, we can base that 5 shade. If it's an on front, it's a 5 shade. If we're playing a G front, it's probably gonna be a 7 shade. But that would be the guy we really want to pick on. So we want to base block him. So if we're running inside zone, outside zone, our dot or a zombie, we're gonna one-on-one base that guy. If we're running jet sweep, we're gonna reach it. If we double team it, we'll double team on the power and the counter gap. Trap, depending, inside, if we run our guard trap, we'll have the ability to trap that guy. If we run the counter gap away from the tight end, we have an ability to trap that guy. And then obviously, the last thing we want to be able to do is we want to be able to read them. So we want to put that person in conflict and get him, have him, play. Is he going to get base blocked? Is he going to get reached? Is he getting doubled? Is he going to get read? Is he going to get trapped? So we really want to put that 5 shade, 7 shade, whatever, the first man on or outside the tackle into a bind, and make it so that he's uncomfortable in the game. And then the other thing I think you have to do as a staff is you got to have who is making the tackle, and that's kind of the key is the people that you have in your booth. You got to figure out who's how are they defending you. And after you play teams a certain amount of times, you kind of know how they're going to defend you, but who's making the tackle, and based upon who's making that tackle, will determine what the answer is. And just quickly, when we start getting ready for the season, we work 4 fronts throughout the year. Primarily every defense we see will fall into one of these 4 categories. You get your odd man front. You've got your split G front where the 3 shade can be the tight, 3 shade can also be away. We treat those pretty much the same. Stack front, where you're gonna have the 3 stacks, and then the bear front where you can have that kind of that tackle, nose tackle inside. So these are the fronts that we work throughout the season, and pretty much every other look that we see will fall into one of these 4 categories as we progress. All right, let's see if I can switch over here to my. Everyone see that all right? They're good? Okay, so what I'm going to kind of talk through is, like I said, we have basically 3 base schemes: the zone, the power, and the jet. So I'm just going to kind of talk through our power game, ways teams try to take it away, and just some of the answers there. So, with our power scheme, obviously we can run out of several different formations. We can run to the tight end. We can run to a tight end wing. We can run away from a tight end. No width, 1 receiver width. We can run to 2 receiver width. We can go on balance and run to a 3 receiver or over the Q to a 3 receiver side. We can go unbalanced. You can motion to it. We can motion away. So, we really try to dress it up. We try to formation, play with the numbers, and get ourselves, in a situation where we can be successful with that. And then we can run it with different players. So, obviously we're going to run it with our B. We'll run it with our Q when we have a quarterback that's a power runner, and then we can run it with other players too. A couple of years ago. So you go back through last year, we were primarily a tailback team last year. Our Bs were the ones that would run the power. 2 years ago, we had a B that could do it, but we also had a Z that we wanted to get the ball in his hands as many different ways as possible. So we taught him how to run the power. You go back 3 years ago, we had Michael LeBarriere, who's playing at Maine now, was a Fitzpatrick Trophy winner. We wanted him to run the power game. So, when we go into a game, we're going to, you're going to see power. And if teams don't stop it, we're going to continue to run it. So, we have the ability to run it with our with our tailback, and the schemes, we're going to double the front side. Our A-backs, our A-back's going to kick out. Our guards, skip pulling around for the front side linebacker. And if we can run power, we're going to continue to run power until teams stop it. So we have the ability to run it with our B. Like I said, we've gone back, in other years when we had a quarterback, we certainly have the ability to run power with our Q. And, we also, we want the ability, to run it with other players. Like I said, we want to get the ball in our best players' hands. We had a Z the last few years, prior to this Z where, we're going to give the illusion here running jet sweep, but it's actually just off tackle power. We're going to double. He's going to kick out. You're going to see him run really wide for the jet, thinking it's jet sweep. And then you'll just see them, our little guy here get up inside. Brackmani can get up inside, run power off tackle to Z. So, like I said earlier, it's one of those things where we're going to try to get the ball in our best players' hands as many different ways as possible. So, but that's basically our base power. Nothing there that is earth shattering. So as we progress, we start thinking about our power game. Teams that play us, teams that are well coached, they're going to figure out ways to take that away. So if we're playing a okie front, and these are the ways a team in a 50 can try to take it away. Front side, they can pinch the front side outside linebacker. They can really have him hard jam RA and try to squeeze it. That's one piece that we're going to have to deal with in our power game. The front side linebacker, right? He can really slant hard over the top to the C gap. He can really fill hard to the C gap. So that's another issue that we're going to have to address. A lot of teams will play, cover zero, and they'll bring that safety down front side. And we're going to have an issue, where they get that extra guy in the box that we cannot block. So those are the three front side issues that we're going to have to deal with our power game. Backside issues, you can have a linebacker that scrapes aggressively over the top. Where it becomes hard, where you can split, split the post lead. You can also split the double team here and get involved. So we need an answer for that. The backside tackle can do a couple different things. He can pinch real aggressively, try to cross face on our tackle when we try to hinge him. So we're going to have an answer for that. And then some teams will chase the backside end from the backside to run the power play down. So these are, the front side issues that we're going to have to address in our power game. These are the backside issues that we would need to address in our power game to keep it, to be successful. If we could do I could draw the same thing up in a split G, and things just change a little, things change a little bit. It's instead of the rover, it's going to be an outside linebacker that's going to come crashing down. Still going to have the safety, still going to have the front side linebacker scraping over the top. Backside, it's kind of, so, you can draw this up versus any front you want. But for just presentation here, I'm going to kind of work it versus an odd front. So, the first issue is, we'll talk through is this rover or outside linebacker really hard jamming. When our tight end steps down to double team, teams are going to really have that end play that physical and hard and really try to get inside of our A-back. We call the A-back, H-back, A-back. So, I'll show you an example, just an example here. We play Scarborough once, twice every year. You keep an eye on the end here. This end is going to really play this hard. He's coming down. He does a nice job of squeezing the hole. Our A can't get any movement, and and Scarborough does a really nice job here of kind of cramming this up, and we don't have a play. Okay. See it from the back here before it exits, but you just see them really jamming that up. So our answer to that is, it's something that we've just started doing naturally, is we're going to actually work on bouncing that play. So, what we're going to do is our A is going to try to kick out. If he can't kick out, all we're going to ask him to do is to try to wash that thing. Okay. And it's something that we start working on, first day we're going to run base power, but the next practice we come back and run power. Now we're going to have our guard kind of read that. So our guard on his skip pole is naturally looking for first hold past the center. But if that guy hard jams inside, our guard is going to stay a little wider now, read that block that the color is inside, the color, the other, opposite color uniform is inside of our A-back. He's going to look to bounce that. And all we're doing now is we're naturally going to bounce that power to the outside. So just a couple kind of to show that. So let me start again here. So once again, you can see how tight that defensive end is stepping down really tight. Okay, first hole past the center. I mean, there is no hole here, so our guard is just going to kind of read that, and he's going to bounce. And our B, who's initially on the power play, is looking to hit it anywhere from the A gap to the C gap, depending upon where that seam is just going to get on the hip of his guard. And now this thing is, instead of hitting in the C gap, is now going to hit in the D gap. You can see the end, right? So watch the end come down tight. I mean, it's impossible to kick out. So our A-back is gonna make contact, and they're just gonna kind of work his hips, try to see how he just kind of pins him inside, knowing now that the guard is gonna kind of read that and get over the hump of that. So it's something that we start early on. Hopefully by mid-season, we get pretty good at it. Same look now. Now we're just going to, now we're running it with our quarterback. Okay, so you're going to see the same look. Okay, and does a great job of bending down the line. Okay, you're going to see our A try to dig him out, can't reach, and now the quarterback just takes it, and the guard takes it. They take it one hole wider here. And we'll do the same play with our Z. So once again, kind of the same play we're running. Now we're running the power with our Z back. Okay, and we're gonna get the same look now. Now we're in a kind of a TNT, maybe a split front, see it from the end zone. Outside linebacker comes down. Right there, they kind of playing with our reads here. So now, there's the guy who's trying to kick out. He's obviously lined up outside shoulder of our tight end in this look, making it really tough. I mean, it's tough to run power. That guy's doing that. So our A-back is just going to bury that. Our guard's going to read that. See how he gets over the hump. Okay. We're using our B on the extra defender here. Our wide out covers down. And then we just allow, obviously we get our athlete. We cover down. He can just make a play because everyone's covered up. Yep. I think you're on mute.
Let me unmute myself. Hey, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
When you guys are working on that in practice, is that something that you do primarily in team with everybody, or is that something the linemen and the H-backs and such might work on their own?
Yeah, we'll do a lot of this during inside run game. So we probably won't have the cues there, but we'll have the line, and then the A-back and the B. And we'll work, just basically a lot of time early on, we'll use a ball. We got this big round ball that we use so that they can kind of read where the color is. When we say color, if we see color, as the guard's pulling and he sees color inside, okay, he knows that he can take that. He's going to take that one hole wider because that A-back is just going to kind of wash that down inside. So it's an inside run. We'll bring over our Z. We'll run it with our Qs. But it's primarily during inside run game period.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, next one we see is that front side linebacker, right, on the double team is going to really attack hard through that C gap. So he's playing downhill through the C gap, and what it does is it creates an issue for that pulling guard to attack with power. We skip pulling for that guy, and if this guy can get up on the line, it really kind of it can create issues on the line of scrimmage for us. So Coach Cooper at Bonnie, they do a great job with this, where they get that linebacker fitting downhill in the C gap. You'll see right here, you watch the linebacker, how aggressively he fits. It creates a lot, the guard can't attack with power. That guy's attacking the line of scrimmage so aggressively, it creates issues on the line of scrimmage for us. Our answer to this is we're gonna run our dart play, which basically is obviously we can run with different players out of different sets here, but if we're running it off the power action, we're basically gonna make the play look like power. So our goal is we're gonna post lead here for the backside linebacker. This changes a little bit right here, where now basically this becomes a base block for our tackle. Our tight end's going to step down to make it look like power, and then he's going to work off for the linebacker to the safety. Okay, so we're not driving this thing down inside. This is a B-gap run play. So essentially, it's a base block here, looking to try to fan that out if possible. He's going to step down to give that illusion that it's a power. Our A-back is doing the exact same thing. He's going to look to kick out, and now the ball is going to hit in the B-gap. Okay, right behind that. And if they're flying out of here, this, the pulling guard will end up actually getting the backside linebacker a lot of the times on this. So got a couple different ways here to show you. So, so here we go. Once again, you're going to see our guard is, our tackle is fanning on the 5 shade here. This is not a power. Our tight end steps down, but he is looking to climb levels here. He is not looking to get a block on that. We just want to give the illusion that this is off tackle power by having him step down, our A-back kick out. Okay, everything's pretty much the same except for the tackles block, and then our guard is looping through the B-gap, right? It's a B-gap hitting play, where this is hitting one hole inside. The linebackers here kind of cross the linebackers. That guard does a nice job of getting up in the hole and sealing the backside linebacker because he's flying over the top there. Break a tackle and we're gone. We can run the same play. Now, once again, like I said, we have other series that we run plays. And I think that's when you put your offense together, you want to be able to run the same, so now we're going to do this off jet sweep action. So now we're in a little bit different set. We're in a spread set. We're going to give the illusion of jet sweep. You're going to see the front side linebacker scream out of here. Our guard's going to step around. He's actually going to end up blocking the backside linebacker this time. So it's the same play, just off, rather than the power game, it's off our jet sweep. It's the exact same blocking scheme, exact same play. Tackles, right? Base block and fan. We're here. It looks like a 40 defense, so we're gonna base block there, block back on the 2 or 3 shade. Guard stepping around. You see the linebacker getting out of there. Okay, linebacker's right, getting out, and now we're just gonna run it with our cue. Also have the ability, this year, once again, playing to your strengths. We had one good pulling guard this year. Our other guard he was a good base blocker. He wasn't a great puller. So what we decided to do was we're going to run the same play here. This is almost like I formation power. So we're going to block the same way. We're going to double here. We're going to fan. We're going to make it look like power, except now we're going to have the A-back fill, okay? Just because we didn't feel like this, this guard was a great puller. So we just use our A. So it's the same exact play with the A-back leading through. You're going to see the front side linebacker scream out of there, okay? It's the same, right? Fan, right? Instead of having the guard pull around and lead through, we're going to use the A. See the linebackers all the way over the top, thinking power. We just hit it up inside. See right here. See, watch front side linebacker. He's gone, and we're hitting this thing in the B gap. All right, so that would be our answer for the front side linebacker. Okay. The last front side player we have to account for is the safety. Okay, and once again, a lot of teams will tie those safeties down. Okay, so unless we crack it, that safety, he's going to be the extra player in the hole. We don't have enough players to account for him. So, you'll see teams really start playing downhill with the safety. Safety here fits downhill. Bonnie Eagles had a good call here. They got us outnumbered. Our back just runs through a tackle. But they've got us outnumbered here. We don't have enough. That's just a good player making a play. Safety, you can see him fitting downhill real aggressively. He's right in the hole. Our answer here is we're going to throw pity-pat post, pity-pat fade versus that, where, if they're going to fit the safety, then we've got to be able to hit that over the top with our wide out. So, once again, we have a couple different ways of doing it. Matter of fact, this is the same game. I believe it might even be the next play. Our back just ran through the tackle. You can see again, once the safety is coming down real aggressively, we're one-on-one coverage out here. Right? So we're just going to come back, and not a real complicated pass, but we're trying to put our athletes in space. One-on-one coverage, you've got to be able to take advantage of that. Once again, coming off, once again, making sure your offense fits together. So same exact play. Now, once again, this is off jet sweep. Okay, so you're going to see Scarborough here. They're going to really rotate hard to the jet sweep. Right? This is the Bracamonte kid. They're trying to take away him on the jet sweep, which is good coaching. Okay, what that does though is it frees up our wideout one-on-one. Okay, so you're going to see safety down. Right, so it's a one-man. Here they come rotating. We're just going to try to go right. Try to hit them over the top. You'll see the safety come flying up here. Right? There's no help for the corner. And then we have the ability, to hit it with other players too. Okay, so here, just another example. We're going to kind of do it off jet sweep action. We're in a two-back set, unbalanced set now. All right, we're gonna fake the jet sweep again to the Bracamonte kid, and now you're gonna see this, the safety come hard. We're gonna try to hit our our A back down the middle of the field. Okay, so it's just so that's our play to take advantage of an aggressive secondary. So that's the front. Those are all our front side answers. If we can't block the 5 shade by doubling him, if we can't block the 0 shade by doubling him, we ain't gonna be able to run power anyway. So that's why we really kind of focus on these 3 front side players as players that we've got to be able to account for if we're having troubles with it. Moving to the backside now. right? It's backside issues. Okay, so the first thing to talk about is that backside linebacker scraping hard over the top. Okay, and we really kind of have two answers to this. So kind of show you here, playing in Sanford here a couple of years ago, and they had a real good linebacker here. He's gonna actually get over the top and make a tackle. He's gonna split kind of the double team. You can see him coming off, and it ends up making, so we don't have a play. I mean, it's a great job hitting downhill by a B, but the linebacker you can see here, right here, he's gonna fit over the top here. He's gonna kind of split the two double teams. Right there, see how they make the double team kind of go sideways, and then that linebacker ends up inserting right there. And I have a couple answers to this. Okay, our first one is we're going to have a kind of a combination scheme. We're going to zone the front side, and we're going to man block the back side, and then our A back is going to insert. So that's why we call it zombie. So we zone the front side, we man the back side, and our back inserts. So we're going to make it look, B's going to start on power, and then he's just going to follow, right, the A back through the first hole past the center on the back side. So just a couple different looks here. So we're in our up, we're running our tailback. You can see here, right? We're just zoning. We're zone. Okay, backside's a man scheme. Okay, so we're just going to fit. Right, we're gonna man block the backside. So our guard man on is a 2 shade. Man on, right, is a 5 shade, and our A back is going to insert for the front side linebacker to that backside. We're gonna, so zone, right, zone, right, man, okay, back inserts, all right. B's gonna start, and then he's gonna wind back, follow right back through the hole. Like I said, we can run it with that cue. A few years ago, we really wanted to focus on our quarterback game. It's the same exact play. So we're going to zone. You're going to see the A kind of lead back through the hole, and the Q is going to carry the ball. So it's the same exact play, right? We're zoning the front side here. We're manning up over here. Okay, the A is leading through for the front side linebacker. And then finally, we can run, like I said, we can run it with our Z back. Like I said, we want to get the ball in our best player's hand. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to hand the ball off like jet sweep, and you're going to see the same thing. We're going to be zoning right to the right. Okay, so zoning here. We're going to man block here. Our A back is going to insert for the front side. Our Z is going to take the handoff, and he's just going to get north and south and read that. A's blocking the hole. And we just kind of let him do his thing. The other issue and the other play that will also work with the B, I'll kind of show you, but the other issue we run into the backside a lot of times is this backside tackle trying to cross the hinge block by our backside tackle here. So, we pull the guard, our tackle's got a hinge there really hard. Some teams will really send that guy through the B gap. they'll rip that B gap and try to get him crossing our tackle's face. So you'll see here. What's going on there? What's going on here? Hold on there. Technical difficulties there. Here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're running power here to the right. You're going to see this tackle right here. He's going to really inside release hard on our tackle. You can see our tackle has a real hard time on the hinge block. Okay, he's just ripping that B gap. Okay, and it makes it. You're going to see from the end zone shot. He pretty much down here makes a tackle from the backside. Okay, so if we're having troubles, if we have a tackle that maybe doesn't have quite the feet, or if they're really cheating, ripping that B gap, you'll see it here. Well, see this guy rip, right? Is a tackle right here, 57 for Portland. He rips through, and he's darn near making a tackle. Okay, so if that's a situation, okay, we're going to, we're going to want to run counter back to that guy. Okay, so our I'll screw it up here. Hold on just a second. Freezing up here. Okay, here we go. So our answer here would be, if we're getting a squeezing backside tackle, or if that tackle's just playing, he's not, when we inside release, if he's not bending, respecting that, if he's playing like a true C-gap player, okay, and it's also an answer for that B scraping over the top, okay, so, we're going to run counter gap back, okay, so, once again, we have the ability to run with the B, with a Q, and with our Z, okay, so, the counter gap back is, that guy's crossing face, we want that tackle just to wash that down. Much easier block than trying to hinge that. Our guard is going to kick out the first man, and then our A is going to lead through. He's the lead through. We don't run a lot of our counter tray pulling the tackle. We like to use our A back, just because we feel he's a little more athletic getting up in the hold and pulling the backside tackle. It prevents a little more leakage. So kind of show you once again. So, we're lined up like we're going to run power. We're running, through just to create an illusion to try to soften this guy a little bit more. But you're going to see this tackle right here is squeezing really hard. You're going to see our tackle kind of be able to wash that down. Our guard will kick out. Our A is leading through the hole, so we're running the counter gap to the right here. We just used the motion because we wanted to get, their ends are really playing our jet stuff. So we wanted to get that motion there. And then it just creates a soft corner, soft kick out block with our A leading through the hole. You'll see the tackle is playing tight. Okay. It's almost like a head up our guard. So now we can wash that down, kick out, lead through on the linebacker. Just get a hold on the play. We can run the same play with the Q, like we said. Now the reason we're running it here, a couple things here. And number one, they're not hard jamming with our inside release. They're not hard jamming here. So this guy's just coming across playing like kind of a true C-gap player here. Okay. The other thing we're getting is the linebackers Okay, but you see how when he's not coming hard, so we're able to kick that out. We get a linebacker step in front side that allows our A back to get through. So it's just, this is the same exact play with our quarterback carrying the ball in the counter tray. See, no, not bending real hard. We're able to kick that out, get up inside. And last one, once again, get the ball in your best player's hands here. Now we're going to run it with our Z back. Okay, so it's the same blocking scheme. Our reasons for running it here are two things. Number one, here's our kick out block, right? They're playing more of a bare front against us. So the kick out block, we're able to inside release, get the kick out block there. The other thing that's going to happen is as he takes the ball this way, watch these linebackers, they are flying out of here. And that's why we're able to kind of counter back. Watch the middle linebacker as we start with the Z carrying the ball this way. And, we're able to kick out, we're able to get the A up, but look what the linebacker ends up being. Okay, so that's that hard front side scrape. We want to be able to run the counter gap back. Okay. The last issue on the backside is if they really cheat and chase on the backside. Okay, so you're going to see here in this look here, the tackle is going to pinch really hard inside. The end outside linebacker is going to chase. Okay, and here we are. We're running our power read play here to the boundary. All right, so a little bit different look here, but you get the idea where they're going to really chase from the backside. So we're reading, the power read. We're reading here on the power read. Okay, obviously this guy, if we have to hinge, that guy steps hard inside. Our tackle's got to dig that out. Okay, he's unaccounted for. Okay, he actually makes a play from the backside here. He chases it down and makes a play. All right, so. Right. Our answer is reverse. Okay, right. So we're gonna run reverse off that. Okay, where we're gonna make it look like power. I mean, we're gonna do everything exactly the same. The only thing that's gonna change is we're double teaming. We're gonna pull the guard. We're gonna double. We're gonna post lead. We're gonna that guy's crossing face. We're gonna scoop. If he doesn't, we're just gonna kind of hinge him, but then let him beat us to the inside. And the only other guy, right? The only route, the A is gonna change, and he's gonna lead back around the corner. Okay, on the reverse. All right, so just our base power set. You're going to see here, watch, this guy's going to chase from the backside real aggressively. Our tackle is going to kind of just step, let him kind of beat him to the inside, and then wall. We're just giving the ball on a handoff. So those are basically our front side and backside answers for our power play. And obviously we would have the same thing with our jet sweep. And if we run jet sweep and teams are stopping a certain, we're going to have answers for those front side players and backside players. We run our inside zone. If teams are, how are they taking that away? What are the answers to that? So I think when you construct your playbook, you want to make sure that, you take your base play and then those auxiliary plays, when are you going to run those and why? And I think that's something that, I think we've worked really hard. Like I said, Craig Gressy does a great job with that. Our guys up in the booth do a great job spotting for him. Nick Tabor up front, he does a great job with the line. And I think it's just an idea of, our guys, understand, they don't, you're not going to panic, if teams are taking the power game away, they understand that we're going to hopefully have some answers for that at some point in the game. So that's the presentation.
Thanks, Coach. That was good stuff, man.
Welcome, Mike. That was good. It's fun. Good time.
But, yeah, I like to think that nobody's ever going to have an answer for jet sweep, but you do have to have some things off from it for sure. But that certainly makes a lot of sense to have those answers built into your game plan so that you're not scrambling in the game. And I also think it makes a lot of sense if your kids know what those are too. I know our receivers are begging for that outside post when that safety starts rolling down on jet sweep all the time. They're anticipating it, and that's even better than when we're doing it.
Yep. And and I think it allows kids. I think when you get into a game, kids understand. They're going to know that. I mean, if our guard, that first time we run power, if that end stuffs, he understands. That he's probably going to be looking to get over the hump the next time. Early in the year, is it always clean? No, but hopefully by the time you get to the big games at the end of the year, you'll be able to kind of clean up everything and, have those answers. And each year the answers might change a little bit, just based upon your personnel. 2 years ago, we had the Bracamonte kid. We wanted to get the ball in his hands as many different ways as possible. This year, it ended up being our quarterback. We wanted the quarterback carrying the ball on a lot of those same type of looks that you saw with the Bracamonte kid here, just because, he was he was kind of the guy that could do what Anthony, no one could do what Anthony did for us, but he was the closest that could do it for Anthony. So I think that's the other piece is you got to, play to your strengths each and every year.
Well, I hope we get our lobster bowl in this summer so I can unleash your quarterback on some guys on some of this stuff.
Yeah,
that's good. I think you make a good point too. That feedback that you get from the kids is vital because they're the ones out there seeing it and doing it. And when they can come back to the sideline and say, "Hey, coach, when we're running this guy's doing this, and it's tough for me," then you guys can kind of go to your, you can go to your answer sheet as a play calling group and figure out what you need to do. And I think on top of that, the addition of the huddle sideline and having those replays and being able to watch that, back instead of relying on a coach in the box to see it the first time live every time, that's a big help too.
Yeah, that's something that, our line coach, Nick Tabor, does a great job with that. He will, as soon as those linemen come off, he's getting them over on the sideline. Fortunately, we've been able to pretty much two platoon our offensive line, defensive line the last few years. So, you're able to kind of coach them up in game and show them what they're seeing, and it's so valuable.
That's good stuff. If you want to take that screen down, I'm gonna stop the recording, and then if guys